do anything but hockey in this city.
Naturally, the poets play left wing. This is called cracks. Someone has fallen through the cracks to lie on the sidewalk right in front of you. Do you wonder why they are on the sidewalk? Do you call the media to say someone is on the sidewalk? Do you look at statistics to see how many people are on sidewalks? Do you call your friends and protest that people are on sidewalks? Do you lie down in the sidewalk beside them? Or do you help them get up? And do you wonder where the cracks are? This one's called Poem for a Voice. It's for a voice that all of us hear every day. Not the one in our heads. I want to meet the woman who makes the announcements in the metro. With a voice so reassuring, rhyming off the stations until I reach mine. Authoritative when she tells us the service is interrupted, en cause d'une panne. Then calmly tells us, le service est rétabli. A voice the same morning, midday, or late night, she never loses her cool even when she announces, le service est interrompu en cause d'un accident. Oh, some mock her without knowing her, saying sometimes she sounds like the teacher from Charlie Brown. How unfair as she struggles to be heard in the cavernous stations. A while back I read The Watch That Ends the Night by Hugh McLennan. It's about mid-century Montreal, and a lot of the, of course, around the time of the war and the Spanish Civil War, and how communities were being divided, and he was sort of getting tired of Montreal. And I thought about that later in our last election, and so I wrote a poem. It's called Montreal, for those who stay. Also, I've been reading that a lot of people were leaving Montreal at the time last spring. But it starts out with a quote from The Watch That Ends the Night. But that night as I drove back to Montreal, I at least discovered this. There is no simple explanation for anything important any of us do. And that the human tragedy or the human irony consists in the necessity of living with the consequences of actions performed under the pressure of compulsions, so obscure we do not and cannot understand them. Montreal for those who stay. At 6:30 a.m., light shines off the ice on the snowbank, the only light in our city. You can't see the cross from here. These days you can't see the cross from anywhere. So I'm not sure where the light comes from. The moon is too faint. And no cars are passing on this turnoff. At the next stop, dark figures waiting silently, and it is too cold to talk. And some mutter into cell phones on this bus, though who you call at 6:30 a.m. is beyond me. And now the expos are gone and the Olympics are gone, and oh city, you're an old beauty who no longer gets invited to the parties. Your marble is plaster, your arch is crumbling. It is a place of no future, a city of the past where even the past is destroyed. And nobody comes to work but to do their thing, perhaps school, and then move on. And then citizens act like a married couple who know it's over, and you moisten your lips in the bitter wind to kiss the city goodbye. To gravitate to another place of opportunity and sustenance, and then brag about your time back in Montreal. And you keep your eye on the scene and the politics, and you keep your eye on the scene and the politics. Oh, city of drained skies in summer, drained emotions in winter, drained bank accounts, drained all sense. And we've almost lost our minds at street corners remembering when we were last here, remembering when we last made something that mattered. And we speak fractured languages. Sometimes we laugh, sometimes we raise our voices, sometimes we try, and sometimes we give up. With too much heat in the summer and too cold in the winter. But franglais is an acceptable in-between, and remember we have more friends than enemies, more hope than fear, more parks than sidewalks, and more dreams than nightmares. Lost moments, lost love, lost points, that should not be all you think about. And sometimes the city is all I think about, in history, in novel form, in transit. And I'm reading The Watch That Ends the Night, and they don't even know, and we don't even know, not most of us, what has gone down here, the debates, the flags and flurry, but we still come together. Thank you.
Happy